Let's come to order. Welcome to the Thursday, January 23rd meeting of the Commission of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. For those on the internet, we are broadcasting live from the Cotton House in downtown Cleveland, Mississippi. Do we have any guests that we would like to recognize, Lynn?
We do, Mr. Chairman. First guest I'd like to recognize is Tom Janis, who's a member of our foundation board. We very much appreciate the work they do. Tom, appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Tom.
And we have Ricky Flint with the Outdoor Tourism Trust Fund, and we very much appreciate the work they do as well. They send some money our way, okay, just like the foundation, so we always want to recognize those guys. I know a little later, I'm not sure he's here yet, but I know the Mayor of Rosedale, Jack Coble, will be joining us a little later, and I think that's on one we got that's not on the agenda that you recognize right now, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Sir.
With that, we're going to have our opening prayer, and Jason, would you come forward and deliver opening prayer?
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, this opportunity to gather together once again. We thank you for your divine protection, your covering, Father God. We thank you for your Son, Jesus. We pray in the name of Jesus, Father God, during our meeting, Lord God, that you give us wisdom as we make decisions, Father God, that will affect the state of Mississippi. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Jason. Periodically, the Commission recognizes Mississippians who add a lot to conservation and our way of life when it comes to the outdoors. And today we have someone here in the area that we'd like to recognize, and that is Bill Lester. So Bill, if you'll come forward, let me present you with something real quick. Bill Lester is a man about the outdoors, a legal artist. He's a caretaker of our Janurary plantation, which is located not far from here where we all say the blues originated. And he's just done so many wonderful things for Jump State University, on and on. And Bill is also an incredible turkey call maker and duck call maker. What other ventures are you doing?
I'm fortunate to get to help my grandchildren duck hunt, dove hunt, and deer hunt some too. So that I'm a regular partner with that too. That's right.
And you will get some.
It's got on that these things. Nobody's ever seen a trumpet like that before, but it's a little tiny, skinny, thin one. I call it a slim plug. It's new for this year. I'll have it at the National Wildlife Show this year. And there's carbon fiber arrows in it to make up the sound chamber. So if you think something that tiny can't make a sound, it's just for years and years and years, I've been wanting to Kiki, Steve Turpin, and Freddie Cliff, and have a good friend, Eddie Perry, trying to teach me Kiki, and I never could. And I finally got the sound chamber right at this one. So listen to this. And if I can do that, I tell everybody, anybody can do it. It took me 20 years to learn how to do it.
Bill, obviously, we thank you for everything you do at conservation and anywhere else. All the different thank you. Congratulations. All right. Okay, with that, fellow commissioners, have y'all had an opportunity to take a look at the minutes from last meeting? Also, sound man, this mic is going to feed back. If you may need to turn this one down just a little. Okay, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Make a motion that we accept it.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next is today's agenda. Do we have any changes on the agenda today?
Mr. Chairman, we do have a few changes we need to make. As we begin the meeting today, before Mr. Selby talks about the wildlife, we're going to have to ask Drew Malone to come up and talk to you guys about a possible season extension that we want to work on today. And I know under the public comments, I know Mayor Jack Coleman was planning on being here, and we also are honored to have one of the Louisiana Wildlife Commissioners with us here today, Andy Brister. He'll also talk under the public comments. And I believe, to my knowledge, at this point in time, the rest of the agenda, that will set the rest of the agenda for us at this time.
Okay, at this point then, do we need any approvals in there for the agenda? All right, so do we have a motion to accept today's agenda? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, now, Drew, do you want to come forward and say a few words?
Sure. There's been a request that we extend the deer season under 49731G. And what the statute allows for is on any deer season that ends on a Friday, the commission shall have the authority to extend the season until 30 minutes after sunset on the following Sunday. The request is, and this would only apply to the northern area, the extension shall apply to private lands in the Delta, Hills, North Central Deer Management units, and again, it's stated the southeast DMUs are not affected. And so what it will effectively do is extend the deer season until February the 2nd, 30 minutes after sunset. We are authorized, the commission is authorized by statute to take this action if y'all so desire.
Okay, do we have a comment or anybody like to say, add anything else to it?
I think it's something that we should definitely do. It extends the weekend out. I know in the past when I went to pick grandkids up at school and for it to die on Friday afternoon would be just disastrous in the past. So I don't know how I would tell him he couldn't hunt Saturday or Sunday, but I won't make a motion that we do it. So.
All right.
And I'll second that motion. I think it's a great idea as well. I think it'll give people an opportunity to hopefully harvest more deer. As many parts of our state have overabundance over the carrying capacity of the land in some cases. And then it gives, that weekend you'll have deer season open, rabbit, squirrel, quail. So somebody can have multiple opportunities. And I guess, the duck season obviously is over the 31st, except for the youth and veteran season after that.
All right, that sounds like that'll be a very busy weekend for our game officers, Jerry, wherever Jerry is. Okay, what do you want to do then?
Motion in a second.
Okay.
Vote.
All right, let me have a motion to extend the season.
Barry made the motion.
All right,
Barry
second.
Give it a second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's that.
Mr. Chairman,
Mhm.
I think it'd be appropriate, since we just took that action here, to give the Mississippi Legislature a little credit for that action. That was some good thinking on their part to give us the opportunity to make that vote that you just made. So give them credit for getting the deer season extended 2 days.
All right, that's noted, thank you. All right, what about Ron Selby, Delta Walleye? He's going to come talk to us a minute. Where are you, Ron? There you go.
Thank y'all for allowing us to come and speak to you today. Today, our leadership, Tommy Goodwin, who is chairman of the board for Delta Wildlife, he will give this part of the presentation, so I'm going to turn it over
Do
to
you want
him.
to say a few, for those listening in, what is Delta Wildlife and where are you located and all that real quick?
Well, we're a nonprofit charitable organization that's focused on the 19 Part Delta counties in Northwest Mississippi, and we're located at Stoneville, Mississippi, and we represent both private and public landowners. And so, anyway, we're proud to do that. So,
Yeah.
But I'm going to allow Mr. Tommy to share more with you.
All right, Tommy?
Well, this is a real delight for me, is being a little old boy from Drew, Mississippi, and, about a half redneck. This is really, really good for me. And, I know some of y'all, of course, Lynn Posey and I have a close relationship with a mutual friend, Gene Hurt. He hunts with me over on the river over at Lake Whittington. And Todd, I know you. You probably don't know me, but I've had children there at Washington School, and I've watched you run track and play football and all of that, and some stepsons. How old are you?
46.
My son is 48. His name is Brock Goodwin at North Sunflower.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I knew I knew. And Betsy Goodwin, Betsy Goozy now.
I ran track with
Against Brock, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Curly-headed boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. He's a surgeon in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he's got a place in Kansas. You know, doctors, they may make some money, but they ain't got any time to use it because he's steady cutting. I mean, that's the way that is. But I've got one of my old hunting buddies is here, and Johnny Baltman, he's here in the audience. He's from Drew also, and we've killed many a duck together. Not this way now. Back in the 70s, you know, when it was flourishing, you know, I didn't much like some of these boys in this room coming. But, you know, that's over with. Now you just take enough folks so you don't shoot over the limit. Back then, we didn't hunt with about 2 or 3 people. But I had a friend, his name is Jabbo Ward, the greatest hunter I've ever known. You know his son, Bozo Ward. And he taught me a lot about hunting, but about life also. He's now gone, and his son Bozo's a great hunter. I mean, a great hunter. But I will tell y'all, I want to ask y'all know what these are here? Y'all know what these are? You know what we call them in Drew, Mississippi? You know, we used to have brown jersey gloves, and we'd put 6 pair in your pockets, and you go hunting, you take them off, you put your another dry pair on, or 2 pair on, and all that type thing. Those of you that have got a little age on you. And then they came out with these. We call them redneck Gore-Texes. That's what we call them. Because that's what we had. You know, I come from, my mom was a nurse, my dad was an insurance salesman in Drew, Mississippi. Yeah, I grew up with Archie, you know. We friends. Yeah, I always tell Archie, you know, it's one thing you are, you know, you're the best football player we ever had, the best baseball player we ever had, probably the best trackster we ever had, but you were the second best basketball player. Guess who's first? Me. I played basketball here at Delta State. And I could tell you a lot of stories. I could tell you a lot of stories now, but I've been doing this. I've been hunting since I rode my bicycle down to the Drew sewer system, lagoon, and killed divers down there with my 410. I mean, 10, 11 years old. Killed my first mallard when I was about 12 in Tunica cutoff. And I have hunted, just like Johnny's hunting. We've hunted all over the Delta. Back then, you just went up, knocked on the door and said, can we go hunting? We've hunted all over Tallahatchie County, all over Butler County, all over Washington County. And those of you that know fighting bow, we know it too. Lots of times we were hunting on fight bow, they didn't know we was hunting, but we were hunting. But anyhow, and I learned, those of you that know my friend who's gone now, Bubba Tollison, taught me how to blow a duck call. And he was a great hunter and a great friend, and he's gone. You know, I'm 73 years old, and when you start getting some age on you, you think, well, just saw my friend Pete Johnson died in Clarksdale. Those of you who know Pete. And but I'm still hunting. I'm still hunting. I'm going. Nobody can beat me to my hole on Lake Whittington, because if I have to sleep in it, I'll sleep in it. I love it that much. But I'm here to talk about Delta wildlife. I am executive director of South Delta Planning and Development District here in the Lower Delta. And but I've been with Delta Wildlife since its beginning. I've been the treasurer. My friend Chip Morgan said, you need to be the treasurer because you worked at the state auditor's office. That's where I started my career, state auditor's office. So I was a treasurer for a lot of years. Then, you know, as I got older, they said, well, you got old enough to be president. So I was president, now I'm chairman of the board. It's a great organization. We do a lot. We do a lot for people, for our people. You know, it originated at Delta Council, 100 charter members. I can remember, because I didn't have the money, because I was still working at the state auditor's office. You know, when you work for the state, you don't make nothing. I'm sure these boys out here can tell you they don't make nothing. But anyhow, everybody had to come up with $1,000 to start this thing up. Well, I didn't have it, but I gave what I had. And I was in the room and when we started, and you know, we went through some hard times and some bad times and everything else with Delta Wildlife. And then we've done a lot. You know, our mission is we strive to conserve, enhance, and restore native wildlife habitats, wildlife populations, and the natural resources of 19 Delta and part Delta counties in northwest Mississippi. And we also stretch down to Warren, Claiborne, and Jefferson with the whole business. You know, that's been a great program, great program. So what do? We're a service organization at Delta Wildlife. We provide comprehensive wildlife habitats, plans for deer, quail, waterfowl, turkey, various small game, and other species, even backyard birds. We have bluebird boxes and wood duck boxes and that type of stuff. We provide trapping of feral swine on private lands in 16 counties. We have trapped over 18,000 hogs, pigs. We have out right now 73 traps. And we're on a pilot project of doing that. And we hope to continue. Delta Wildlife I can remember when, you know, we have a magazine, and it's a really good magazine. Scott helped us with that when we first started. And then, you know, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. So, you know, we started doing it in-house. Scott's my friend, and we do business together, and we support things together. And he knows me, and he knows that if I got it, I'll give it, and that's the way it is. And we're different at my PDD. It is the people's money. It's not the PDD's money, and it's not my money. We support things here in Cleveland. We do things for a lot of things, and I'm real proud of that. My mom worked 48 years at this hospital. She died a year ago next month at 98 years old. But I will tell you this, she was there when they put the first brick in. And she worked there. And they always say that she ran the hospital. Well, I don't know whether she did or not, but she told one CEO, she said, well, you know, he was asking her, why are you down here to see me? He said, because the doctor sent me down here. And he said, well, you need to go back up to where you're supposed to be. She said, well, let me tell you, I was here when you got here, and I'm going to be here when you leave. So that's the truth. She was written when they sold that hospital, and she was written in that lease that she could not be let go. She was in that lease. And, you know, she's renowned. She loved does, and Todd knows where Doze is, and Scott knows where Doze is. Her picture's up on the wall in Doze right now. When she died, they wanted me to bring a picture up there. So, you know, I don't know nothing. They just tell me what to say. But I know this. We need help. We need to help y'all. We need to help y'all do policies that create better things here. I have been jumping up and down because in my hometown, there's a little place up on Quiver River. Quiver starts at Rome, Mississippi. And there was one of those federal take-back lands that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has, and it has gone to pot. It used to hold thousands of ducks in that area. Gripman Break, that's where the 6U's are. But the Gripman family owned that. Alan Gripman was president of Delta Wildlife before me. And it used to hold thousands of ducks. But that take-back place right over here on Quiver When Quiver gets 1 or 2 inch rain and then it'll get another 2 inch rain, it's about 1,000 or 1,500 acres of water. Everything comes from Parchman right in there. And it just held lots of ducks. You don't hold any ducks anymore. None whatsoever. You go by there, you see 2 or 3 out there. You see all them ganglo birds, and the vegetation is taking over everything, and they used to run pumps in there and pump them up, and grass is this tall, and it's just nothing. And Ron is working with people to try to do something with that, and some other places. But we need to be a voice for y'all to do something about our WMAs, to enhance them. And I know y'all have trouble. I mean, I've been in the government business all my life, and I know how budgets are, and they're tight, and the cuts come, and all that. But we do need help. We're a government liaison for our members and our communities to partner with the state and federal entities like MDWFP, MDEQ, USFS. I don't know what all these things mean down here. He's got all these letters, but I can tell you this: wherever it is, and people need our help, and if we can get 2 cents from them to enhance the waterfowl and the habitat in the Mississippi Delta, that's what we want to do. And we're asking y'all to call on us. Call on Ron. We'll go. I tell you this: we'll go wherever y'all need us to go. Because I work at the Planning and Development District, and my Planning and Development District is going to do everything for the people sitting on the cans fishing to the people that fighting Bow Hunting Club. That's what we're going to do. I thank y'all for letting me come, and I'm not going to read all this, but I'm going to tell you what we need. And I can tell y'all 1,000 stories about hunting and fishing and, acting crazy and everything else. But I would tell you this: I'm an old man that loves the Delta. I am the Delta. It don't matter whether you don't measure people by the color of their skin, or whether they got red hair like Todd, or you got no hair like this gentleman and myself. You measure them by what's in their hearts. And when you look at me, I measure people that way. We want to help you. We don't want to sit on the sidelines. Give us an opportunity to go to Jackson. When Lynn Posey was here and in the legislature, I was up and down those halls. I was a county administrator, but I was up and down the halls. And I did some things. And I want to do more. I want to do more for our people, Scott. Our people, Todd. These other gentlemen, one of them lives in Tupelo, and he probably knows Randy Kelly. But then, Randy Kelly's a great friend of mine, the PDD director up there. I've never been a real fan of people with a bag and a gun, but we need more. We do. We need more up here. With all these night scopes and all this other stuff, and now silencers and all that. Look, people have ridden up and down the roads in the Delta forever, but they need to calm down. They just need to calm down. They need to calm down all over the state. As you get older, you don't do all that stuff. But we need help with that hog program, and we can help y'all on your WMAs. My gosh, how many WMAs have got hogs on them? Plenty. And we want to partner with y'all to come help. When we need a support letter to get money for our feral hog program, we're going to come. We're going to talk to Lynn. We're going to talk to y'all. Let us be partners with y'all in whatever we do, because we're Mississippians just like y'all are, just like when you took this oath to be on this commission. is to do the best you can for the state of Mississippi, not for Drew, Mississippi, not for the Gulf Coast, but for the state of Mississippi. And I salute you for that. And I can tell you, just being from humble surroundings, it is a pleasure to be standing in front of you. And I thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you, Tommy, so much.
All
I
right.
appreciate your comments and everything you said is noted. And, I personally agree with it. Ron, do you have anything else, any closing statements you want to make or anything like that?
No, I don't. And there again, thank you for allowing us to speak. And he's right. We do want to continue to partner with MDWFP. I've been here with the organization for almost 2 years now, and have developed some great relationships. I was down there yesterday in the office and visiting with some of the people from the fisheries department, and so I'm excited about what we're planning to do with MDWFP to help here in the Delta. So,
You know, Ron, what I would suggest is having a meeting, sometimes come down to the department in Jackson and getting with Lynn and everybody, just seeing what could we do together? What other things could we partner on, different things, and just explore some ideas.
sure. Oh, yeah,
This,
absolutely.
to me, is
Yes.
a door opener to do that, so I want to do that. Also, I want to make note that I've known Ron for 31 years. In fact, he and I were in pre-med together at Delta State back in the
That's
day.
right.
I didn't go to medical school and you didn't either. Maybe good or bad, I don't know.
Well, I think it turned out pretty well.
But you know, I didn't enjoy that organic chemistry, anatomy, physiology, histology. That wasn't any fun to me. You may have enjoyed it.
Well, I thought they were your favorite classes, but you played it off really well.
Okay. All right, well, look,
I have a
Tommy,
question for Ronna. Yeah, thanks. The hog program is great, and I appreciate we've been able to take advantage of it. Your guys are really good. Do you have any suggestions, what you've observed, anything we can do for the feral hog program? I mean, obviously, for the problem, we got the USDA doing helicopter, you're trapping, private lands trapping. Our WMAs, we have, is a problem, as Tommy mentioned. I mean, any other strategies you've heard of, any other places or things we can do?
Well, right now, we're working together. We have a coalition, what we call the Feral Swine Coalition, and MDWFP is part of that, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife, USDA Wildlife Services, and of course Delta Wildlife. And we're looking at a particular area encompassing around 400,000 acres that we're hoping to eliminate the feral swine population as a whole, and it will be a project that maybe can be used in other parts of the country, including Mississippi. So. But yeah.
How many acres, Ron?
I'm sorry,
How
what?
many acres are you working on?
It'll be around 400,000. And so it's part of the Delta. And anyway, so we're looking at that. And but I will say, you know, you have a new guy, Martin Coker, that we visit with quite a bit. And I think he's going to do really well for MDWFP on the feral swine program that you have. So I'm excited about working with him. But yeah, the relationship and the communication is much improved, and the stewardship coalition and the stewardship fund, I think, has provided the vehicle for better communication with the NGOs and MDWFP and U.S. Fish and Wildlife and other organizations. It's really provided a nice platform to provide funding for projects that are important, and I hope it will continue to grow, and that the legislature will continue to appropriate the monies for it. So it's an exciting time to be involved with wildlife. So, and I'm looking forward to working with MDWFP and the officers and personnel.
anybody have any more questions for Ron or Tommy? All right, thank y'all so much, appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we're moving into the public comment session. And Lynn, I don't see Jack here.
No, I
Okay.
don't see him here either. I was just looking, trying to see him there, but we do have Andy Brister.
Okay.
That would like to give a few comments. He's a Louisiana Wildlife Commissioner. Andy?
Hello, it's good to see everybody. I'm Andy Brister. I'm a commissioner in the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Commission. I live in Lake Providence, Louisiana. Two of your members actually came to one of our meetings. I actually got our crew to come all the way up to Lake Providence and to see what the Louisiana Delta looked like. We're just kind of a stepchild to the whole state. So it was really neat to have everybody there, and I appreciate y'all coming and participating in our meeting. I came to one of your meetings in Lake Providence, as some of you may know where it is. It's on the Arkansas line, Mississippi River. I live about 10 miles from Will Walker's place, Cottonwood, if that'll give you any indication of where I'm talking about there. But I came to one of your meetings a little over a year ago. It was very informative. I've enjoyed today. Delta Wildlife, I'd heard of it, didn't know anything about it. I'm glad to meet you guys and hear what you have to say. And it's just neat to, the Mississippi River, my deer stand actually is in the state of Mississippi. It's just on the other side of the river. And I want to get with you on that reciprocity, whether that's when our season closes, can I still hunt? I need to talk to you about that. I got tickled. They only give you the name attorney over here. They switch out lawyers a lot. About every 20 years or so. I'm an attorney. My wife's a judge. My son's an attorney, and my daughter-in-law's an attorney. So I can pick on you a little bit. But some of the things so it's great to share ideas, and I've been working with Billy a lot, talking to him back and forth because we do share so much border, and hunting and fishing is so important to all of us. And I'm the first person from the Delta to be on the commission in over 20 years. And there'll probably be a long gap before the next one. So I'm trying to get as much done as I can during my term. And so, Billy, I appreciate you always talking to me and always sharing information with me, and y'all letting me be a part of your meetings when I can make it over here. One of the things, and if you want to know, is anybody interested in the black bear hunt? Y'all read plenty about that, or you interested in knowing?
Yeah,
so we had 10 lottery tickets to have our bear hunt in December, and one tag, not tickets, tags. One tag the governor was able to issue, and so we had 11 tags out. The only bear tag that was not filled was the one on our WMA bear tag did not get filled. All the others did. And the veteran, a wounded warrior, got the tag that the governor gave. There were 10 bears taken, and there were only 2 females, which was good. The worst case scenario they thought maybe was 6 females, and we only had 2 females, and so that was really good. Had some healthy bears. The veteran shot or harvested, I have to use those terms, harvested a 696-pound bear. Wow. That's a monster bear. We thought when they were bringing in 500-pound bears, everybody was in awe, and this veteran went out there and just took the cake. That bear was taken in Tensas Parish. Tensas has the greatest population, and I can't remember, but there were all the bears came off of either Madison, Tensas, which is Tallulah, St. Joe was the seats that y'all probably have heard of, and one out of Franklin Parish, but it was right across the line from Madison. So, had a successful hunt. I look forward to hearing back from our biologist and hopefully get some more tags issued or put up for the lottery. It was a lottery hunt. So we're very happy to have that happen. And it's brought to light a lot of the history that we share about Teddy Roosevelt's hunt and Holt Collier and all of that. I've bought a book for our secretary about Holt Collier, just the history of all that is so fascinating to me. One of the things that's very important to me and very important to you guys is the invasive carp. I saw the white perch fishing go away, bass fishing go away. To me, it's large part because we finally got those invasive carp down our area, and they get trapped in our river chutes and our lakes, on our lands, and behind the levee, bar pits, and that's a big issue to me. So I have worked with our department. We're different than you guys. Y'all deal with inland waters only. We deal with offshore fishing and inland. So it took me a while to get everybody kind of interested in what I'm talking about. And having a meeting in Lake Providence and dragging them all the way through the Delta was a big deal, and I was so glad that they were willing to come. And they actually stayed in the state of Mississippi on Hogue Island, just below Will Walker's place. They thought that was funny. They came all the way to the Louisiana Commission, actually stayed over in the state of Mississippi. But anyway, I've come, there's several organizations that I've come across just trying to dig for information, Billy and I together. And one of them is MICRA. It's the Mississippi Cooperative Resource Association. That is a multi-state effort. Your fishery leader knows all about that. And it's a multi-state effort for funding and research. And now I met through Billy, Ashley Smith. Ashley is working on and she's a lobbyist, that some of you may know her, or maybe all of you know her. She's working on a bill to go through Congress to establish MICRA would become the Mississippi River Fisheries Commission through the Department of Interior. I don't know if you're familiar, since you don't deal with the Gulf. There's a Gulf of Mexico Fisheries Management Council that's under the Department of Commerce. And when they become and I don't know if that's going to be called Gulf of America now or what, they might change their name. But at any rate, this commission that they're trying to establish would bring more funding. It would bring an office to deal with it, and to deal with the fishery in the Mississippi River in general, not just the Asian carp issue or the invasive carp issue, but a lot of issues. I think it's very important for the future for her to be successful in this effort, and I would encourage each one of you to talk to Ashley. Billy has been on several Zoom meetings with us, and I think she really understands this issue, and is trying to get that through. And I think each one of us, and I've encouraged our members to get involved. Last week I went to Baton Rouge and had lunch with Ashley and our executive staff, so that our executive staff could hear what she had to say and understand and understand the issue. Because, like I said, we deal with the Gulf as well. So I feel very confident now that our department is going to be in the fight and have an open communication with Ashley in order to try to get this bill through. So, anyway, any
Andy,
questions?
Question for you. On your bear hunting down there, do y'all have what's your estimate of the population of Louisiana? Can you throw some out?
It's funny you bring that up. That is a source of contention, I would say, with the residents of the 4 or 5 parishes that, can possess these bear for the biggest quantity. I mean, they're all over the state, but the biggest quantity. Tensall Parish is just, in the heart of it. Our estimate was 1,500 was the estimate. Anybody that hunts or lives in those areas will tell you there's more than that. And that's one of the things that we're working towards, that I'm encouraging our people to get more involved in, is a better estimate of how many bears are actually out there. Yeah. Because our people that live in those parishes, are very well, are very convinced that there's a lot more than that in all of those parishes. Uh-huh. And I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
So,
just curious, our bear population is growing by leaps and bounds. And how many do we have in the state, we think? 350, I think, 342?
I'm gonna let Russ answer that one.
Just joking.
Well, and I'm just talking about that bear management area, which is the Delta, basically the Louisiana Delta parishes. I mean, all over the state. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I am really, I would love to see some research done on counting them with thermal drones and getting better numbers.
Yeah.
But we took some baby steps last year, and it's going to be baby steps for a while till we get this figured out. But,
it's wise, very wise.
But we were very happy to have a season.
Yeah.
And we came, Louisiana Commission, Colin and I came, we did have a presentation of those people doing the thermal drones. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of a controversial thing.
Yeah.
Here in Nashville, whatever. What does Louisiana allow with that? Do you know? I mean,
as far as counting, is doing
surveys.
Research.
They did those guys that presented to the Louisiana Commission, they did surveys showing the
Right.
deer density and population,
We have no regulations on that. If a club, in fact, Hogue Island, which is, y'all may have heard of that. I don't know. It's in Mississippi, but it's over there, 8,000 acres. They just did one. You know, but if you, as a private landowner, if you want him to come bring his drone and count and survey your deer herd, then there is no regulation against that. Now, you know,
is there regulation if you use it for hunting or
Oh,
locating
yeah.
wounded
and
deer?
That's much more guided by the federal law.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't use them to scout deer, identify deer, and in fact, there's some very strict regulations on a wounded deer.
Right.
You know, you can't if it's a wounded deer, technically you're supposed to back out and never share that information. But that's more of a federal law thing. I get asked that a lot, just as a commissioner.
We get asked that too. That's where
Yeah.
we're trying
Yeah,
to
but it's,
learn.
I think the attorneys, you know, and I'm going to get our Cole Garrett is our attorney. I really I need to get a hold of that federal act and just read it myself so that I understand, because it comes up a lot, and you know, it's very difficult for people to understand. You know, it's a fine line. You know, it's a fine line. One thing we did do last year is got our rules consistent with your rules and Arkansas rules on using tracking dogs. And I was very happy that we were able to do that.
We have that, and then we're talking about hogs. You know, people want to use them to locate hogs and things like that. So it's,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't-
federal thing versus
I would
state.
think the federal, and that being an invasive species, the federal law may allow it. I don't know. I've not read that act, but that's, you know, the feds would be the ones that would be in charge of that.
The technology's out there, so we need to address it, or at least inform the public what the rules and laws are. You know,
And that's one thing that I told, you know, the attorney when we talked about this issue, because it came up, and late one evening, and I had everybody on the phone trying to explain it to the drone operator. But you know, we need to do a better job as a commission of communicating what those rules are. They may be federal, but let's get the information to the public, because they are becoming more and more prevalent, and people need to know.
you just don't want people to get out there and accidentally do something
Oh,
violates the
absolutely.
law, and then they don't know.
And it's very, you know, with those, you know, that data card or whatever they have in there, I mean, you know, the agents can do a deep dive, I guess, or send it off and find out what you have on there. So it's a very, you know, it's a sticky deal. But I think you're right. I think we need, you know, as far as us, and I've already brought that up, we need to get more information to our hunters and our drone operators, what they can and can't do. Because there is some very vague lines, but they're there.
Drew, you can educate us on that.
Just,
The statute says you can't use an aircraft to hunt, chase, kill, harass. I mean, it goes to this long litany of things that you can't do with them. That's just something we just need to look at and see what all it includes as far as the hogs and such. But
That's
it's
the federal or
very
state?
broad in the
Federal?
states.
Federal statute.
Federal, yeah.
mm-hmm.
So that's where we've always had the issue is that federal statute that specifically makes reference to, like I said, broad category, harass, hunt, chase. I mean, it's everything on there.
But the USDA can do their hog elimination program, or the federal government does.
But I think we'll see some changes in a lot of those things coming up, so.
you know, that might be a good subject for talking. You know, Ashley would probably know a lot about that subject in the feds, but it would be great to get that more clearly defined and caught up to date. It's one of the things that I had talked to the director of the Bear Project program for the Safari Club, who used to be our bear person. And I brought that up about as far as using them for surveying bears and, just trying to get people kind of thinking about that idea, because it's important to the people that are out there hunting around them, deer hunting. I mean, it's difficult. It's not easy.
Here, Marigold Hunting Club, they had bears in the tree with a bow hunter, and
Yeah. It's
some interesting videos of that.
It certainly changes your life when your bears hit your property. That's for sure.
All right, Andy, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you,
Andy.
Andy.
Got a question?
Yeah.
Andy, real quick, on the bears, I'm assuming that the 1,500 number was a threshold in that area
that you all reached, triggering the limited season.
And that's probably what that means, yeah. And also, you know, to get us delisted, were y'all listed on the endangered species with your bears? You know, we were, and Arkansas was not. And so that you're probably right that was a threshold number that they needed to support to get it delisted. And, you know, switching from a management program of building the herd versus a managed program of, you know, introducing recreational hunting into that scenario, it's a transition that our department's just going to have to make, you know. Any other questions?
Just to clarify, I mean, it's actually in our code section too. It's 6111.1. Says it shall be unlawful for any person or persons to pursue, chase, hunt, take, or kill any wild game or waterfowl from an aircraft, or to spot and communicate the location of any wild game from an aircraft to another for the purpose of hunting, killing, or taking such wild game. That's actually in our statute.
Mississippi code.
Yeah, monitored the federal.
And that's where it becomes very dicey when you start trying to locate a deer that's been shot. Yeah.
If we're surveying a population survey after hunting season, that's probably okay, don't you think? What are you going to take?
In that.
All right.
Okay.
All right, thank
you
you.
very much. Come back again. And we, Commissioner Mugger and I attended a year ago the Arkansas Commissioner meeting over there. We, you know, all of our Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi should stay in better touch together, our commissions.
We do, and I have not been to the Arkansas Commission meeting yet. I want to. If you guys decide to go sometime, let me know. I'd love to meet y'all there.
We would like to do that. I think Billy would as well, but yeah, we'll try to coordinate that.
We'd love to. I'd love to go with y'all.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, moving on into license sales, Jason Thompson, come forward and tell us where we are.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, our license report for the month of December, we have generated over $14 million in revenue, which is a 2% decrease from last year. We've sold 286,000 licenses and permits compared to 289,000 on last year, so a difference of 3,000 licenses and permits sold. Revenue from resident license sales, over $5 million, which is a 1% decrease from last year. Sportsman's licenses are down 1%. All game hunting licenses have decreased by 3%. Waterfowl stamps, however, are up. We've sold 639 more than the previous year. Non-resident licenses, we've made $8.3 million compared to $8.5 million last year. Out of the 8.3 million, 6 million is from Louisiana residents. Permit sales have gone up 1%, and lifetime licenses are down 1% from last year. At the bottom of your report, the number of customers that have set up for auto renewal in December has increased by 4,546. And license packages, 26,314 sold this year compared to 24,302 on last year.
Anybody have any questions for Jason? All right, anything else on our license, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, wildlife, Rush Walsh will come forward and talk about wildlife.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things for you today. The first one is a license exemption request. Then I'll do this, and I'll yield my time to Andrew Arnett to present the private lands alligator rule. So we have had requests from Hope Outdoors, which we've had requests from this organization before. They do special hunts for special needs individuals or those with disabilities. They're having 3 hunts here over the next week in different parts of Mississippi, in Wiggins and Columbia and Holly Springs. And they have requested license exemption requests for their participants, some of those being out of state. So I'll bring these to you this morning for approval for those exemptions.
Okay, we have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield my time to Andrew Arnett.
Morning, Commission. Historically, in the alligator program, we've accepted applications for the private lands that were mailed to the office and processed at my desk. So we'd like to propose a rule change to Title 40, Part 2, Chapter 2, Rule 5.2, under the application restrictions and requirements. We would strike number 6 and read as the application for the private lands alligator hunting season will be an online application process that will be available May 1 through July 1 of each year. And the online application can be found at, and we provided the link for that application process. Last year, we built this and we offered it as mail-in processing or online last year, and it went really well. So we'd like to propose this rule change to make it completely online application process.
The window is still the same?
Yes, sir. The window is still the same.
It's May 1st to June 1st?
July 1.
July 1.
Yes, sir.
What about the numbers? Like, several months back, we talked about how many hunters actually went hunting who drew versus not.
Private or public? So in the private program, we issued out vouchers to 120 different private land properties. So that's about 120. Usually for the private lands program, we average between 110 to 130 applications, depending on the year and the landowners and whatnot.
It must have been public. There were bigger numbers.
1,500, 1,200.
There was 980 permits sold last year in the public water program, and it's usually somewhere around 6,500 to 7,400 applicants that apply for the public water stuff annually.
You took how many alligators roughly?
In total for public and private water, it was somewhere in the upper 900s, 980-ish, 972, somewhere in there.
Any more questions? Okay. Do we have a motion?
So then,
Do we have a second? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, law enforcement. Chief, where are you? There you go.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good morning. Law enforcement makes this report for the month of December. For the month of December, there were a total of 1,042 citations issued. The top 5 being as follows. Number 1 was no license at 179. Number 2 was trespassing at 77. Number 3, hunting from public road at 71. Number 4, unlawful possession at 70. And number 5 is supplemental feeding at 66. On our next page, you'll see where our officers encountered 2 hunters in violation of the supplemental feeding law and no hunting license there on a Marion County WMA. On our next slide, these are officers in Pike County. Officer Nichols, Officer Haygood. They encountered some non-residents that was hunting there in the county. The officers stated they had heard shots and came upon this hunting camp and conducted an interview, and they did compliance check, license check, and all the above, and none of the individuals had hunting license. So all the individuals were issued citations. A total of 14 citations were issued. On our next page, this is officers in Tippah County, Officer Ralph and Officer McAllen. They made a headlighting case there in Tippah County. Proud to report that this year, so far, statewide, we've written 30 headlighting cases in the state. So fine job that our men and women out there doing, trying to apprehend those violators. Our shooting range customer report counts for the month of December the 11th, 2024 through January the 1st, 14th of 2025. McIver reported with 485 customers. Turcotte reported with 1,042. McHenry reported with 974 customers. And at this time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to address an oversight from our last meeting in December where we did recognize our officers. I guess, like I say, no officers left behind, so I would like to recognize the officer for our Boating Officer of the Year for 2024, Officer Corporal Dominique Williams. Will you come forward? As he's coming forward, I'll read. Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks recognizes Corporal Dominique Williams is hereby awarded the MDWFP Boating Officer of the Year. Officer Williams is assigned to Coahoma County where his work ethics and punctuality are second to none. Officer Williams' professional attitude and outreach are well acknowledged throughout the county and the region. Corporal Williams has a strong working relationship with many departments from the local level as well as the state level as a whole. He has worked 7 different counties even as far as the Gulf Coast and even our state waters as a whole. Corporal Williams last year wrote a total of 3 BUI boating cases there for the state. So we're proud of this officer and the work that he's done. Congratulations. Also proud to say that Officer Williams is also a part of our SRT and also our dive team. He was very influential in getting that unit started. So they'd like to commend him for the fine work he does with our agency. Mr. Chairman, at this time, we'd like to recognize individuals that are here for reinstatement. The first individual, I guess we'll say 2, this is dealing with this incident happened in the county involving 2 individuals. So I'll ask Mr. Hunter Smith and Mr. Estes to come forward. This is actually a cold case that happened about 1 year and 10 months ago. It was brought to the attention of our investigations unit there with law enforcement. They received information through a tip about some headlighting incident that occurred in that county. Through the investigation, Officer Talent was the officer conducted the investigation. Through its investigation, along with the investigations unit, this case really was made through discovery of data information leading to an interview, as well as confession made by the 2 individuals. At this time, I'll yield the floor for them to tell you all what actually happened there after the interview was conducted by the officers.
On the day of February 22nd, 2021, me and a couple buddies, we were just riding around, and we were riding down Highway 404 in Montgomery County. And we stopped to use the restroom on the side of the road, and good-sized deer run across the road, and we, obviously just a truckload of guys, we just thought it was a good idea, to get a better look at him. And we did, and they got us in trouble. And on the day of January the 9th, 2023, or 2024, we were convicted of headlighting. And we all know it's not right and irresponsible as hunters that we're supposed to respect the wildlife and everything else. And we come and asked for our reinstatements to get our license back, and we're sorry. We know it's not right.
I think I've definitely learned my lesson for sure.
Speak over the microphone.
So I've definitely learned my lesson for sure. I have a son, and I'd love to be able to take him hunting this year. It'd be his first year I could tag along with me, so I'd really be honored to have him back. I think I've learned my lesson this past year watching buddies and everything get to hunt, and I'm just at the house and really have missed it, and the honor to go hunting in Mississippi.
All right, so y'all were on really a major road, correct? Blacktop Road?
Yes, sir.
And y'all shot off the Blacktop Road, and then did y'all kill it? Did you get the deer or anything, or not? So y'all just shot. You don't know if you hit him or not, or what? Speak up. Tell me. All right, so you don't know if you shot the deer or not?
We didn't shoot, so.
Well, you didn't shoot.
No, sir.
Just headlight.
Just headlight. Okay, so you didn't actually fire.
Yes, sir.
You shine the headlights at it, or you had a?
Headlights on the truck.
We shined the headlights from the truck, and the landowner actually come down there and saw when we shined the lights, and he took a picture of our truck, and that's how. the
Okay.
game was found.
Okay, okay.
But you had a rifle in there?
We did,
See,
yes, sir.
you possibly could have shot at it.
We could have, yes, sir. It was just trying to get a better look at him. I mean, we're all avid hunters. Seen him, he was there.
Okay. Did, Chief, do we have, is that the whole, quote, is that the whole story?
That's the whole story.
Okay. Okay, what do you recommend, Chief, we should do?
Find the investigation of all from this incident. They've met all the requirements for reinstatement, so I approve for reinstatement to be granted to you.
Okay. Did anyone have any more questions, or do we have a motion to reinstate?
A question, how much does it cost you? Or the fines or fees? What's
Everything together, it would turn out to be around $2,700. So right now, I would have to pay $500 for reinstatement, and then I think it was $2,100 for the fine itself. Or $2,200, something in that area.
Todd was going to ask you a question.
Just to complete the clarification, did you leave the right of way of the road and go try to look at it, or did y'all stay on
We
the?
stayed on the road.
It was just turned off the highway right
Yeah.
there on the median pretty much.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion to reinstate?
Motion to reinstate.
Do we have a second? Second. Okay. All in favor? Okay. Good luck to y'all. I hope that was a lesson that you'll learn and have the rest of your life.
I guess just to clarify, so joint motion is on Hunter Smith and Peyton.
Correct. That's correct.
Mr. Chairman, next is Mr. Jacob Boyer. This violation occurred in Covington County. The arresting officer was Officer Orrin Walsh. This incident happened on November the 25th, 2023. Officer was traveling on Highway 589 and observed the light or lighting device shining. Officer avoided the detection of the vehicle from being seen. As the vehicle passed by, the officer conducted the stop, did all the safety precautions, and conducted an interview, and Mr. Boyer is here to tell the rest of the encounter.
Good morning. How are y'all today? It was in November. Just telling you the story, you know. I just dropped my girlfriend off at her house, and it was cold. And like them, I like to look at deer. So I went riding around, and like he said, I got off on a back road that you could see from 589, and I started shining my light after a deer run across the road. I did not attempt to shoot the deer or nothing like that. But after the deer crossed the road, I shined my light at him, and that's when Officer Walsh lit me up and did all his stuff. And there was another officer that showed up as well, asking questions and all that. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. I don't speak in front of a lot of folks, but yeah, so I'm here asking for my reinstatement fee as well. I didn't attempt to shoot the deer. I did have a rifle in the truck. It was unloaded. I did shine it with a light. So I was in the wrong on that, and I have learned my lesson. I don't want to have to go through nothing like this again, you know, but.
Chief, is that it?
All the requirements for reinstatement, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
any
sir.
recommendation?
Our recommendation is to reinstate.
Okay, any questions from our commissioners? All right, how about let me have a vote to reinstate or not? What do we have?
Make a motion.
Make a motion to reinstate, have a second. Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Last individual, Mr. Chairman, is Mr. James Edwards. This incident happened in October 31st, 2023. Tate County, arresting officer was Officer James Sanders. Officer Sanders had received complaints of illegal hunting activity going on in the area. The officer himself went and initiated, set up a checkpoint to hide out for his working these complaints. Thereafter, about 30 minutes, an hour later, vehicle came by shining the light. Officer Sanders initiated the stop, approached the vehicles and conducted the interview, and Mr. Edward is here to tell the rest of the encounter.
Morning. On October 31st, 2023, me and my buddy, he came pick me up. We went to the store, going down Highway 4, then we hit Luxhoma Tyro, and then passed Mount Vernon, and that's when we shined the spotlight out the window, and Luke Shepard pulled us over, and then two sheriffs pulled up, and then a while the game warden pulled up, and that's basically how the night went, and we were fined with $2,000 in tickets and 2 nights in jail. I just want to apologize. I was in the wrong for it, and I want to get my reinstatement and my license back and do better this time and not mess up.
Any questions from commissioners? Comments?
Did y'all shoot it today?
No, sir. We had a firearm in the car. We just shined. We was actually looking for deer. There was no fire that night, and nothing.
Have you shot at deer before?
I had when I was younger, yes, sir. Not at night.
Incriminating question, so you might not want to answer that.
You just did. Okay. Anything else, Chief?
Yes, if there are any all requirements for reinstatement, I
Okay, you know, today in this meeting, to me, this is a warning for people that we deal with a lot of people that actually shoot and kill. Sometimes they pick up the game, sometimes they don't. But I don't know if the public realizes that you're not even supposed to shine the light at a deer at night like this. So maybe today's meeting, people will hear that across the internet and all that, but you know, you can't do that. And I don't know if many people really realize that, but you can't do that. Okay, do we have a motion to reinstate his license? So, okay, do you have a second? Okay, all in favor? Okay, good luck to you.
Thank
you. In closing, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say and continue to say throughout the hunting season, we'd like to say thanks to our sportsmen, to the residents, all those who use that 1-800-BE-SMART number, or call our officers direct to report these violations, and we appreciate them because we really rely on the general public as a whole to report these violations for us.
Chief, we have another cadet class coming up pretty soon?
We do, sir. Yes, sir.
Because obviously we got to have some more people out in the field, particularly here in my neck of the woods.
We are recruiting, yes, sir. So
yeah.
We will be hiring soon.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Does anyone have more questions of our chief here? Or okay. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Everything you do. Okay, Lynn, other business.
No, sir, we have anything on the other business today.
Okay. All right, then, the next meeting, would tell us the date we decided on?
We're looking at Wednesday, the 12th, and it'll be in Jackson, and if we have an education session, it would begin at 9. Just a regular session, it would begin at 10, and we'll make that announcement later.
Okay, so we're talking February 12th, and we're gonna have a meeting in Jackson. Okay. Is there a need for an executive session?
No, sir, there is not.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank y'all for coming.
and we appreciate it, and we need a motion to close. Okay, we have a second. We have a second. All in favor? The meeting is now adjourned.